Hello, everybody, and welcome wherever you are around the world. My name is Michael Fletcher, and welcome to a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. We hope that you guys have a wonderful new year, and we hope that 2019 will be a blessed one and an amazing one. This is our first show of 2019 of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we are honored and delighted to have you here with me. Right now, I'm flying solo for the next 60 minutes because of the jam-packed show that we have, Wrestle Kingdom New Year's Dash, the NWA New Year's Clash event, RWA, we got some SCF news, and I also want to get into the big news coming out of the Double or Nothing pep rally that was a part of the All Elite Wrestling. We have so much to cover in that time frame. Not much time because at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock Eastern, Anthony Floyo, Didi Woodson, and Michael Bullock will join me, and we will be running down Smackdown Live. As many of you guys know, Smackdown Live is going on at this hour. So, like I said, so much to cover in about an hour or so. Not much time to get into it. So, hopefully, we will get this all done. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, Smackdown Live review. So just a mental note and just to give you guys the heads up what the rundown is tonight. Now, before I get into anything about all of the Mikey's Mindset news, I want to take a minute. I know Anthony Floyo and the guys last night wanted to share their thoughts and prayers and wanted to give a tribute to the late, great Mean Gene Okerlund. As many of you guys know, Mean Gene Okerlund passed away last week, right before the before the start of the new year. One of the first major deaths. Mean Gene Okerlund passing away at the age of 76. Basically, it looks like it was because of kidney failure. It looks like he had 3 kidney transplants in the past, and possibly that might have been a contributing factor to the death, even though the death is yet undetermined from what I know up to this point. But there is a lot of rumors going around about that. So what I do want to say is, from the bottom of my heart, is my heartfelt thoughts and prayers are with everybody in the world of professional wrestling and with Mean Gene Okerlund's family foremost. Growing up, watching wrestling back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was about maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, one of the biggest iconic interviewers was Mean Gene Okerlund. Just his interviews with Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, especially Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and the Four Horsemen later on in the WCW days. Mean Gene Okerlund just knew how to set the promo up. You know, back in the day, if it was out in the arena or in a backstage segment, the backstage interview area, it was always a joy. It was always great because it told a great story. No matter if you loved the good guy, he put the good guy over. If he really didn't like if you really wanted a heel, he would press the heel a little bit, and it made great chemistry, great everything. And the thing is that you don't see that anymore in professional wrestling. I think Mean Gene Okerlund was a glory era of professional wrestling that you don't get to see much ever again. Yes, you do get some promos here, some promos there backstage, but when it was Mean Gene Okerlund with some of your favorite wrestlers, it was like gold. Anything they did was amazing. I remember watching a lot of the stuff recently on WWE Network, the 1997 or I should say the 1996 Bash at the Beach, the infamous promo with Ric Flair, woman, Miss Elizabeth, as they were promoting Ric Flair's title fight for the United States Heavyweight Championship against Conan that night. And just the way that Ric Flair and especially the ladies were interacting with Gene Okerlund, especially woman who was very flirtatious with Gene Okerlund. But even that was pure absolute like amazingness. It was absolute um it was incredible, to say the very least. It brought a great element of wrestling that we never see and probably will never see again. Gene Okerlund, well deserving of being inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame not too long ago. And not only that, but he was truly one of a kind. And yes, he did have his critics. Some people didn't like Gene Okerlund at the time. But whatever the case may be, Gene is without a doubt the quintessential guy of our wrestling industry. You know, back in the day, a lot of people loved Gordon Soley and how great he was behind the mic and was one of the visionaries of professional wrestling. In my generation, you know, it was the guys like Sean Mooney, Lord Alfred Hayes, Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura, Vince McMahon, um, Bobby Heenan, and yes, you can include Mean Gene Okerlund as that great crop of announcers, commentators, backstage personalities that revolutionized what professional wrestling is today. Because not only is wrestling one factor, but promos and interviews. That was also another key component of professional wrestling that was definitely uh all over and was tremendous in professional wrestling nowadays. Um, and I truly am blessed and honored to got to see Mean Gene Okerlund on my television every week. Either if it was for a WrestleMania report, a wrestling challenge report, anything that did with the world of wrestling. Of course, he was responsible for the WCW hotline, which was 1-900-909-9900. For all you guys out there who remembers that, God bless you. So, I mean, it was an honor, a privilege. And Gene, you are by far one of the greatest announcers, greatest interviewers in professional wrestling history, man. We love you. We're going to miss you. Godspeed, my friend, until we meet again someday. Rest in peace, my friend. You're going to be missed. You know what? There's an old saying is that there's heroes and there's legends. Heroes are remembered, but legends never die. Mean Gene Okerlund is a legend, and he'll never be forgotten. All right. So with that said, I hope um, you guys are feeling the same way I feel about Gene Okerlund. Please leave your comments on the bottom. I want to hear your testimonials. What your thoughts are about one of the greatest men in professional wrestling in Gene Okerlund. So, all right. So with that said, we're gonna dive right in the Mikey's mindset, like I said, and we're gonna lead it off with New Japan Pro Wrestling and their biggest event of the year, Wrestle Kingdom 13. It went down at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. This is a tradition event. And let me tell you, folks, this made history all over the place. So, with it said, first fight of the night was a gauntlet match to determine the number one contenders for the never open weight six-man tag team titles. When it was all said and done, the most violent players, Makabe, Toriano, and Tagachi, won the whole thing. They were the last team standing, and this was amazing. Great matchup. Nice little way to start the show. Normally, you know, this would be traditionally a battle royale, and they go from there. But this time, they wanted it to change it up a bit. A nice little change, to say this the very least. So, with that said, our first fight of the night, another shocker. Traditionally, it was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles that always start the show. This year, they actually started it off with the never openweight title fight. Will Ospreay goes one-on-one with the reigning champion Kota Ibushi. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and the new never openweight champion, Will Ospreay, this had the fight jumping off the page. without a doubt, one of the top fights of the night, if not the fight of the night. This was an unbelievable way to jump into Wrestle Kingdom. And let me tell you, this fight was all over the place. Great matchup, great psychology, a story that was told that was absolutely amazing, to say the very least. When it was all said and done, Will Ospreay wins the title. Congratulations to Will Ospreay. That was a major, major victory for him. Next up we had the junior tag team title fight. It was Ibushi and Tagashi representing Los Ingobernables de Japón versus Kamamaru and El Desperado representing Suzuki-gun, and of course So and Yo with Rocky Romero representing Roppongi 3K. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout and new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Takashi and Bushi wins the titles. Nice fight. However, it was a little short, about 6 minutes and 51 seconds unofficially on the scorecard. I thought it was going to be a lot more longer, a lot more better. Unfortunately, that did not turn out the way. But hey, Los Ingobernables de Japón gets a big victory here, and more importantly, gets the title. All right, so next up we had was for the British Heavyweight Championship, the challenger, Zack Sabre Jr., with Taka Michinoku in the corner, of course, representing Suzuki-gun, and they went up against Tomohiro Ishii, representing Chaos, and who is the reigning and defending British Heavyweight Champion. So, when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 11 minutes and 37 seconds, and new British Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., he regains the belt. He was former champion, lost it to Ishii, now gets the belt back here at Wrestle Kingdom. Solid fight, nice match. I really thought it was going to be a lot more better, but, you know, it is what it is, and I am not really going to say too bad about it. This was definitely a solid fight, to say the very least. So, next fight on this big fight card we had was Los Ingobernables de Japón, Sanada and Evil. They went up against the Young Bucks and representing the Elite. And of course, we also had the Gorillas of Destiny, Tonga Toga and Tonga Loya representing Bullet Club. And more importantly, this was for the IWGP Junior, or well, I should say not Junior, IWGP Tag Team Heavyweight Championship. The Tag Team Heavyweight titles are on the line. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout and the new IWGP Tag Team Champions of the World, Sanada and Evil, Los Ingobernables de Japón. And now instantly, you're thinking, uh-oh, this might be an LIJ night at Wrestle Kingdom. And sure enough, it was looking like a LIJ night, to say the very least, because a lot of good things was coming their way. They took the junior tag team titles. Now they got the biggest belt of them all, the tag team titles. So now they are ruling the tag team division. The tag team division is now under the possession of LIJ. Los Ingobernables de Japón has the tag team belts in both weight classes. The juniors and the heavyweight tag team titles are both in their possessions now. My goodness, what can I say? Bad night for the Elite, and it was turning into a bad night for a Bullet Club too, because the Elite lost Matt and Nick Jackson had a chance at the tag team titles, and of course the Gorillas of Destiny lost the tag team titles. So definitely bad night, to say the very least, for those two factions. But for LIJ, they're sitting pretty right now. Next fight of the night we had was for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. The American Nightmare, Cody, puts the title on the line against Juice Robinson, the winners of the bout, in 9 minutes and 3 seconds. And new IWGP United States champion Juice Robinson takes the belt from the American Nightmare. Kind of expected with all the stuff that's going on with All Elite Wrestling. You kind of had a feeling that this was going to be a belt drop here. Sure enough, it did happen. A lot of people were like, oh, okay, what are we looking at here? Well, we'll see coming down the line. The next thing we had was a one-on-one match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The champion, the time splitter, Kushida, goes one-on-one with Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 17 seconds, and new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori, representing the Bullet Club, takes the belt. Man, good match. Good match. Solid fight. Nothing bad to say about this one. Of course, Kushida has already made waves saying that he is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of people are speculating he might end up going to WWE. And if he does, he'll definitely be on his way to 205 Live. Now, there is some rumors about maybe not so fast, that it might be All Elite. There's some rumors that it could be Ring of Honor. There's a big war that's going to go down now, guys, because of the fact that Kushida has made it very clear he's leaving New Japan. He's going to become a free agent. Now the question is, where does he go? Even though I know there's a rumor about a possible lucrative contract by WWE for Kushida. If he does go, he might end up going to 205 Live, like I said. But we'll wait and see what happens there. Next up we had was Jay White going one-on-one with the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, one-on-one. The winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 20 seconds, the Switchblade, Jay White, runner on Okada. Man. This is bad. All right. I got a lot to say about this. First off, for Okada, man, this is going to be a rough year. I got to say, that's a tough loss, tough thing to go for. I mean, Jay White is definitely a rising star in New Japan. Even though I'm not sold on Jay White, I'm not the biggest fan of him right now. I think he's decent, but I don't think he deserves this big push right now. They made him the new leader of the Bullet Club, and now it looks like he might be making a play for the IWGP Heavyweight title. We'll get into that in just a minute. But Okada, definitely a bad loss for him. Could he be on the verge of a slide like what happened to Hiroshi Tanahashi about a year or so ago? As you guys know, Tanahashi has some injury issues. Not only that, but lost some big fights along the way. Actually lost at Wrestle Kingdom 11 to Okada. That started the slide, and then lost the next year to, I believe it was to Tetsuya Naito. No, it wasn't Naito that he lost to. Yes, it was to Naito that he lost to Naito. Then I think he lost again. I don't remember who he lost to, though, at Wrestle Kingdom 12. But I do know there was a slide where Tanahashi basically went from winning all these matches and then had like this big losing streak, kind of lost his way there for a minute. But I hope this is not going to happen to Okada, man. I hope Okada can rebound and turn things around, because he's a damn good wrestler, one of the best in the game, no doubt about it. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Then we got the IWGP Intercontinental title fight in a no DQ. Chris Jericho putting the title on the line against Tetsuya Naito. The winner of the bout in 22 minutes and 35 seconds. And new IWGP Intercontinental Champion Tetsuya Naito. He wins the belt. Like I said, it was LIJ's night, folks. They took basically all the major belts that they needed it to take. They got them. They got them all. They got practically almost everything on their night. So the Intercontinental, both tag team titles, both in their possession. Definitely a great night for them, to say the very least. Then the main event, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP Heavyweight title. The winner of the bout and new IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world, Hiroshi Tanahashi. His long odyssey to get back to the top of New Japan is complete. Tanahashi, after winning the G1 Climax tournament, giving him the opportunity to win, to get a title shot at the title, and yes, he does pay it off in spades. Hiroshi Tanahashi winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for the 8th time in his career. Unbelievable night, unbelievable event, a great battle, and of course, as many of you guys know, this is probably going to be the last time we were going to see Kenny Omega, because Omega has announced that he is leaving New Japan. Rumors were swirling that he was probably, was he going to go to WWE? Was he going to go to All Elite? Well, it has been confirmed he's going to All Elite Wrestling. We'll get into that in just a little bit. So, switching gears now, going into the next day, which was the New Year's Dash at Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, Japan. It started out with Roppongi 3K and Rocky Romero as they went up against KES and Taka Ashii. And, Rocky Romero and Roppongi 3K wins the match. Solid fight, not bad to say. So the next thing that we had was we had Yuguro Takahashi and Chase Owens, and it was also with Takamina Homa and Hakabe. When it was all said and done, it was actually Chase Owens and the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, getting the win there. Then we had the new United States champion, Juice Robinson and David Finlay, and they went up against the best friends, which is Trent Barrera and Chucky T. Well, the fight was a DQ. Juice Robinson and David Finlay wins the match, as it ended up being Chucky T basically blew a gasket. Started whipping the living daylights out of Juice Robinson with the steel chair. Trent Perez like, what are you doing, cuz? Yo, knock it off, man. Stop. Well, there's nothing more to say about it. So we're going to move on. Next thing we had was Will Ospreay, Tajahiro Ishii, and Gato. And they went up against Yuji Nagata, Kushida, and Jeff Cobb. It was Will Ospreay, Ishii, and Gato getting Hiroki Gato getting the victory in this match. Solid fight, nice match. Nothing more to say. Then we had, then the next match we got was Takashi Toriano and Makabe, and they went up against Taiji Ichimori, the Bone Soldier Taiji Ichimori, and the Gorillas of Destiny, and this was for the never openweight 6-man tag team title, and it ended up being the Bullet Club, or I should say Gorillas of the Destiny and Taiji Ichimori winning the match. But then after the match, a big brouhaha broke out, and yes, guys, it proved to be a big time brouhaha, as it ended up being Chase Daniels and Yuguro Takahashi. They have rejoined the Bullet Club, so they are now almost 6-7 deep now. Oh my God, the guys are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So next up we had was a massive 10-man tag team fight. To say the very least, this one was crazy. This was Lij versus Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., Desperado, Tagashi, and Yoshinori Kimura against an evil Sendata, uh, uh, Shingo Takabe, Bushi, and of course the leader and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Tetsuya Naito. And when this was all said and done, the winners of the bout, as it was, I believe this one went to Suzuki-gun. They won the match. So great match there. Nothing bad to say about that. Unbelievable action that we had. Now we're going into the main event of New Year's Dash, as it was Jay White, Bad Luck Fale, and Gato. They went up against Karushika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Yasuo Ishii. When it was all said and done, it was basically the Bullet Club. They win the match, and more importantly, after the fight, basically Jay White calling out Tanahashi. The next thing you know, a whole brawl breaks out. Well, bad luck for the good guys, because basically it was basically domination by the Bullet Club, and Jay White has made it very known. He's calling his shot. He wants to be the next in line for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the world. So we will see. It looks like it's going to be Tanahashi and Jay White sometime down the line. What a matchup that could be. Honestly, I want Tanahashi to win, even though I know a lot of people are saying this might be Jay White's time. I hope not. Again, not a big fan of Jay White at all. I got really nothing to say at that point. So we're just gonna move on now to the NWA New Year's Clash event. This actually happened actually the same day, the same night as the New Year's Dash event. This was early, of course, New Year's Dash was earlier in the day, around maybe 4 a.m. This one was a little more later in the evening from Clarksville, Tennessee, and the Randolph Event Center. And this is the official fight card, as we say. So first off, we had was Max Stardom going up against Jeremiah Pluckett. When it was all said and done, Max Stardom gets the victory. More importantly, that's a nice win for him. Next up we had was the War Kings, which is Crimson and Rex Dane, going up against Caleb Conley and Jay Bradley. Now, this is very important, because the winner of this fight gets to be a part of the Crockett Cup. That's right. The Crockett Memorial Cup, which is for the tag team division, that is going to be going down very soon. Actually, it's going down in April. So the Crockett Cup, and when it was all said and done, it was the War Kings. They win it. They advance. They will be in the Crockett Cup coming up. So we will see what happens there. Next up we had was Crazy Steve versus Samuel Shaw for the Try and True Championship. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and new Try and True Champion, Crazy Steve, he wins the title. The next match we had on the fight card was Allie from Impact Wrestling. She goes up against Jazz for the NWA Women's title. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout by disqualification was Allie. Allie wins the match. She does not get the title, though. Future rematch down the line, no doubt about it. Then we had the Kingdom Justify, which was the Spiritual Advisor and Josephine versus Tim Storm and David Arquette in a hair versus hair match, tag team style. David Arquette and Tim Storm win the match. They get to, well, David Arquette gets to keep his hair. Josephus loses his hair, to say the very least. Next up we had was for the NWA National Championship, as it was Willie Mack putting the title on the line against Matt Cross, the winner of the bout, and still the NWA National Champion, Willie Mack. You guys know him as the Mack from Lucha Underground, or if you guys have seen him on, I mean, he's all over the place. I mean, he's in Impact Wrestling as Willie Mack. If you guys see him in wrestling in Hollywood, he's been there, which is a part of the United Wrestling organization. So, I mean, there's a lot going on over there, and nothing more to say. Willie Mack's been killing it lately. And then, of course, the main event for the 10 pounds of gold, the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, the champion, Nick Aldis, puts the title on the line against the Cowboy James Storm. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, and still the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis, wins the match. He keeps and is in possession of the 10 pounds of gold. Nothing more to say. Definitely a great matchup. And they actually just announced on January 12th, guys, at a special Ring of Honor taping that's going down at the center stage in Atlanta, they just announced that the NWA World Heavyweight title will be defended. That's right, Nick Aldis will put the 10 pounds of gold, the World Heavyweight title, on the line against PJ Black. So all you guys out in Atlanta for that show, that Ring of Honor show, an added bonus, you guys get to see a world title fight on that night. So, you know, that's going to be an absolute thrilling event. Very excited, to say the very least, as that's going to be going down very, very, very soon. What a night it's been so far. All right, guys. So, the next thing we have, now we're going to shift gears to one of my favorite companies that I follow, guys. And that is, let's see. Okay, hold on. As that is RWA. The RWA had a big event just recently, as it was the New Year's Rockin' Eve. Well, Dick Lane's New Year's Rockin' event, as that went down at the Chop Shop in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And oh my goodness, what an evening of wrestling we had. Really a tremendous show from what I've heard. Say the very least. As always, unfortunately, I was unable to be there due to work commitments beyond my control. But let me tell you guys, if there's one company that you gotta witness and gotta watch, and that is the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. They are, without a doubt, the best wrestling company in the world today. It's gonna be unbelievable event. So here we go, guys. We started it off. Dick Lane's Rockin' New Year, as of course the first fight of the night was Vinny Abruzzi going one-on-one with Alex Corvus. Now, Abruzzi wins the match. Now, the reason why this fight happened was because Dick Lane made a vow that he was going to get Sean Leader back, and that Dick Lane was able to get Alex Corvus to basically say, well, all right, you want Sean Leader back, you gotta have somebody fight me, and if they beat me, then I'll give them the opportunity at then Sean Leader can come back. All right. Vinny Abruzzi takes the challenge. Of course, Vinny Abruzzi wins the match. Then Alex Corvus is like, you know what? Nah, Sean Leader is still fired. I'm not gonna let him back in. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Too bad, so sad. Of course, fans goes absolutely ballistic. They want to see the man from the land of the misfit toys, Sean Leader. But unfortunately, Sean Leader is still unemployed with RWA. But I hopefully they'll get him back. I know Corey Lincourt said that he was going to try to start a petition. Corey, text me, whatever. I want to sign that petition ASAP. You know where I'm at. You can find me on Facebook. You know I'm not that hard to find, man. So next up we had was Dan Terry 101 with Justin Coco Sylvia. Justin Sylvia wins the match. As many of you guys know, Justin Sylvia, the throwdown winner. He gets the big title shot down the line for the Triple Crown Championship. Big win for Justin Sylvia. Keeps the momentum going. Nice win for Coco. Nothing bad to say. So let's go on. And the next fight we had was Pumpalicious with Chad Epic. Okay, against Bang and Lift. And when it was all said and done, yeah, Pumpalicious gets the victory. So by disqualification, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. Then we had Kevin Giles going one-on-one with Shay Cash. Kevin Giles wins the match. It was pretty. It was a be a man fight. Let's just say that. Nothing more to say about that. So we're gonna move on. Next fight of the night we had was the RICW Warzone champion, the Ace Mike Montero, as he goes up and he actually fights against and also he was the NCW New England champion, and he goes up against Nick Marchand for the RWA Hype Championship. Title for title. It was Mike Montero winning the belt. The Gatekeeper takes the RWA Hype Championship. He had 2 belts in possession. Well, he ended up walking out with 1 at the end of the night because Nick Marchand beat up Mike Montero after the match was over, and then asked for an automatic rematch right then and there, and says that he wants that he was invoking his rematch clause immediately. And when it was all said and done, Nick Marchand regains the Hype Championship. He literally lost the belt. 10 minutes later, he gets the belt back. Oh, man. All right. I thought a rematch. I thought you're not allowed to have rematches right away. I thought that in professional wrestling, you got a grace period, that there isn't an automatic cash in until after the fact. This was not a Money in the Bank. This was a title loss, and now you wanted a rematch right away? Not fair. Not cool. I'm not happy about it at all, but, it is what it is. Next up we had was the Hollywood Balls, which was Christopher Dozier and Cipriano Abruzzi goes up against Lust and Broad of the Middlesex Express. Hollywood Balls gets the victory. Nice win for them. They got a big opportunity now, possibly sometime down the line, maybe a tag team title fight. Very possible. So we'll see what happens there. So then we had was I guess we could call this Tony the Tuna versus Tom Billington. Well, when it was all said and done, Tony the Tuna gets the victory. So yeah, little hijinks, little ha on this one, but solid fight, good stuff. Nothing bad to say here. Then we had Detox versus versus AJP and Kellen Thomas. And, well, when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout and the RWA Tag Team Champions was the Detox. So Jason Devine and Ricky Medeiros wins the belt because Kellen Thomas turned on AJ Phoenix. He laid him out right in the middle of the ring. Now, could this have been a little bit of a bitter pill because of the fact that, there was a mistake and Kellen Thomas lost the hype title because of AJ Phoenix? Or was there something more underlying about what Kellen Thomas has done? But whatever the case may be, the Detox takes the belts. They're the new tag team champions. And then in the main event, it was announced that it was going to be King Leon VI versus Davey Cash for the Triple Crown Championship. King Leon VI wins the match, successfully defends the Triple Crown title, but when it was all said and done, yes, the next thing we had was T Phoenix announcing the night before the Super Bowl on February 2, King Leon VI will defend the Triple Crown Championship against Chris Cruz, who asked for his rematch, implementing his rematch clause. But more importantly, Davey Cash has been announced as the special guest referee. Oh my goodness. What an event that's going to be, to say the very least. All right. So, now, with all that said, let's get into this big Mikey's Mindset, and we're going to continue on to the next story that we have tonight, and that is for the SEF. All right, so now a lot of people have been wondering what happened to Anarchy. Why was there no Anarchy this week? Relax, hold, it's going to happen, guys. Next week, we're going to have a regular Anarchy show, as it's going to be basically throughout the night. We're going to have qualifying matches for the Wrestle X. That's right. Wrestle X is one of the biggest fights of the year. And basically, what we're going to have is first off, Wrestle X is like an Elimination Chamber fight. So basically, it is it's 6 individuals instead of 8. So it's normally 8 individuals, then your regular 6 that goes in, and basically it is it's the biggest steel cage fight of all. Basically, pin or submission, you're eliminated from the fight. The last person standing is the winner, and more importantly, will be the champion. Now, on top of that, we also got is the Battle Royale, which guarantees a title shot at Wrestle X. That is the WrestleMania of the SEF show that's going down in April. The winner of that will get the opportunity and will fight for the championship with the winner of the whoever the champion may be. So the championship is on the line. The SEF title is on the line on this show. Now, how is this going to play out? Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. I will make formal announcement on the SEF website, and you will find out everything you need to know. So, guys, whatever you do, log on to SEF4life.com for all the details on the next Anarchy show. I don't want to give too much away. All I can say is that it's going to be something else. All right. Final bit of news before we get out of here and to get ourselves set up for the big show. The final part is, of course, All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling is a thing on January 1st, 2019, on Tokyo time, which was before midnight here on the U.S., rumblings of a new wrestling organization was being created. And yes, guys, it is being created. It is called All Elite Wrestling, AWE. I should say AEW. Basically, this is being run by the Khan family, who are the owners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and more importantly, other people that are being a part of it is the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Of course, you got Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, and a lot of news were coming out. So the first bit of news was that the Young Bucks, Cody, Brandy, and of course Hangman Page, they all signed contracts uh, to AEW. They're all part of the organization. They were confirmed. Then the next thing that we heard was that Britt Baker, DMD, is now signed with All Elite Wrestling. She signed a couple of days ago. She was the first of the actual talent to sign with All Elite Wrestling. Then a lot of rumors were trickling out today. Then the next thing we heard was before that they were going to do a prep rally in Jacksonville, Florida, and the rumor going around was that more signees was going to be announced and some other guys were going to be there as well. So the next big announcement was that Kenny Omega, that he turned down a WWE offer that was somewhere in the neighborhood of $3.5 million. Turned them down and has signed with All Elite Wrestling. So they actually has announced that All Elite will get that basically the leader of the former leader of the Bullet Club, one of the leaders of the Elite, Kenny Omega, signs with All Elite Wrestling. This was a massive signing, to say the very least. It was a remarkable announcement, to say the very least. And then the day the shoe dropped, basically All Elite Wrestling made their big announcements, like we said, in Jacksonville, Florida today. And yes, it was going to be a big announcement that was going to be done. And here we go, guys, as it was basically right now as it stands. Well, first off, they did say, well, here's one of the things that they did want to announced. Of course, Tony Khan and Shao Kahn, they were going to be the guys who are going to be running the company. BJ Whitmer has signed as a producer. So has Billy Gunn. And then, of course, Dana Massey, who is married to one of the Young Bucks. I don't know if it's Matt or Nick Jackson, but they did announce that she will be responsible for the merchandise department. Then after that, during the big event itself, in Jacksonville today, there was the big announcement that SoCal Unlimited, that's right, that is Scorpio Sky, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian, they made all their announcements by saying that they have signed with All Elite Wrestling. They're now going to be joining them. Very, very exciting, to say the very least. And then, of course, we Matt and Nick Jackson made a major announcement, or I should say the Young Bucks made a major announcement, guys, as the next big event for All Elite Wrestling is going to be going down very soon, as it will be, as it's going to be Double or Nothing, All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing. And guys, they made the major announcement that it's going to go down very, very soon in May. I think it's May 25th, 2019, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. That is going to be going down very soon. And then they said there's going to be an All Elite Wrestling event in Jacksonville, Florida. But they did not announce the location or where it's going to be held. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Then the next thing we had was, of course, Matt and Nick Jackson made the big announcement that they had signed 3 wrestlers from the Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, or OWE, as it was Sema, Landaman, and of course the other guy is called T-Hawk, and Takahito Yoro, or Yano, if I pronounce that. I'm so sorry, guys. I hate uh, to mess up the names like that. I don't mean that at all. So this was an amazing announcement, to say the very least. Then we had we had uh, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, as he showed up, talking a whole bunch of junk to the fans of Jacksonville, and then Joey Janela showed up, laying them out. Penelope Ford was there with them, and yes, guys, that all means one thing: they all sign with All Elite. They're all part of the organization as well. Then we had Hangman Page, and he talked about, you know what? There's one thing that everybody has not been talking about, and that is who's going to be the first ever All Elite Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And guys, when it's all said and done, it's going to be me. I'm going to win the title. I'm going to be the first ever champion. I'm going to be um I'm gonna be the big guy. I'm gonna be the man that's gonna do it all, and I'm gonna make it unbelievable and incredible and the whole 9 yards. Well, there was an interruption. Oh my, was there an interruption? The guy who showed up was Pac. Okay, now if you don't know who Pac is, for all you WWE fans, that's the man that Gravity forgot. That's Adrian Neville. Neville is signed with All Elite Wrestling. He's with them now. Oh my goodness, what a big name that is. And then at the end of the day, we all were going nuts. Everything was all great. And they're like, you know what? Who's going to be the next man? Who's going to be the next champion? Who's going to be the one that's going to run the company? Who's going to be, who's going to do it all in All Elite? What are you guys thinking now? Who's it going to be? Well, the next thing we heard was a familiar song to you guys. Fozzie's Judas hit. The next thing you know, former IWGP Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho shows up, much to the shock of everybody in Jacksonville. And then he makes the announcement: Chris Jericho is all in on All Elite. Oh my God, the biggest name yet to join the organization. Of course, one of the other big announcements is it's not official yet, but it is expected Kenny Omega to sign with All Elite Wrestling very, very, very soon. And then from there, what do they do? We've heard rumors about a working relationship with Ring of Honor. We've heard a possible working relationship with New Japan. Obviously, there is a working relationship with the Oriental Wrestling Entertainment that's in China. So you got that going. And then I know Brandy Rhodes said that she was in Japan, Australia, England. So she's already saying they're going to bring more people from around the world. This is going to be one of the most competitive, unbelievable wrestling organizations in the world today. And they said this is going to be wrestling that you want, you deserve. And, well, guys, get ready. We are going to have an unbelievable event. It's going to be a wild ride, to say the very least. 2019 cannot come soon enough. Well, 2019 is here. Now the big question is, what's next? What are we gonna do with what is All Elite gonna look like? What is it gonna be? What is it gonna entail? What's the location gonna be like? What are we gonna do when it comes to wrestling around the world? How's that gonna look? what's the feeling? And so there's so much stuff going on, and there's really nothing more to say. We are definitely in a dawning of a new era of professional wrestling. Um, it's gonna be unbelievable, guys. The landscape of wrestling as we know it is going to change forever. All Elite is definitely going to be a major player. Is now, what is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like at the end? Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. But let me tell you guys, it's gonna be an unbelievable adventure. The fans wanted it. They've been begging for wrestling like this. Guys, you wanted it. You got it. Um, WWE, you're put on notice. Ring of Honor's put on notice. New Japan, you're put on notice. And any other wrestling organization around the world, you better buckle up your boots, gentlemen and ladies, because All Elite is definitely going to try to take over the world. And let me tell you, believe the hype. It is definitely alive. It's definitely well. And it's definitely going to be stronger by the day. And, it's going to be something to behold. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be awesome. And guys, the dawning of a new era in wrestling is about to go down. So, guys, it is going to be so much fun. Um, so now, in just a matter of moments, I am going to bring in my fellow colleagues, Dee Woodson, Anthony Florio, and Michael Bullock, as we are going to continue on this Cerebral Smack Talk, as we are going to we're going to bring in these guys now to get into the Smackdown live portion of our event. So, we got a lot to talk about tonight, as always, as we are definitely on the road to the Royal Rumble. So we got a lot to decipher. Of course, SmackDown Live was from Jacksonville, Florida. A lot of people were a little nervous on WWE's end because of the All Elite was right there, right next door. And as always, we are very excited for what the future may hold. Of course, as many of you guys know, because this is the new year, we are on the road to the Royal Rumble, and more importantly, it's the jump off to the road to WrestleMania, to say the very least. So, as we are adding members one by one, Anthony Florio, good evening. Dee Woodson, good evening. And we are awaiting Michael Bullock. Hopefully, Bullock will be a part of our program in just a matter of minutes. So, guys, if you guys got a chance to listen to my Mikey's Mindset, if there's anything you want to talk about, please, guys, the floor is yours. Briefly, it could be about All Elite Wrestling. It could be about the New Japan show, about Wrestle Kingdom, as I'm getting my notes ready for SmackDown Live here. And, it was definitely a great evening, to say the very least. Now, what is going to be the future may hold? Yeah, we'll find out. All we know is that right now, we definitely got a lot to talk about, and we are gonna start momentarily, guys. As many of you guys know, tonight SmackDown Live was indeed from Jacksonville, Florida, and we had a lot of stuff going down. Of course, well, I'm gonna set the story up, as I'm not gonna give spoilers here, but what we do have, guys, is a lot of action, to say the very least. First off, of course, we had a number of different things going around here. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Of course, um, the Bar, the Usos. We also got some other stuff. To say the very least. So of course, the main event of the evening was going to be a number one contenders fight for the SmackDown Women's title. And the winner of that fight would get a shot at the Royal Rumble, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Carmella gets a triple threat. So that's our main event of the evening. We're going to get into that in just a matter of minutes. And I guess with that said, we're just going to dive right in. As you guys know, tonight, SmackDown Live from the Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida, exclusively on the USA Network. And more importantly, we did hear about, of course, the story as we were hyping the main event. Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Winner gets Asuka at the Royal Rumble. So the first thing that we had of the evening, more than anything else, was that it was a 2-for-1 segment. Unfortunately, due to I kind of had a little bit of some issues as it relates to my TV. So unfortunately, I was unable to watch SmackDown Live tonight. So so we started it off with Daniel Bryan cutting a promo as usual. The WWE champion getting into the crowd getting into the crowd, and then the next thing we know, we actually had a fill-in, as it ended up being R-Truth going one-on-one with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wins the match at I should say Daniel Bryan wins the match by, when it was all said and done, 4 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. So, Anthony Florio, if you are ready. Tony?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. I'm going to give it to you. I need a rest because I've been talking for about 1 hour straight. So just give me a little bit of some minutes and go ahead. You lead off on the SmackDown recap. It's all yours, bro.
All right. Yes, sir. I mean, the best thing going on SmackDown Live right now, the new Daniel Bryan. Just what a way to start that off. I mean, he just continues to amaze. I mean, there were times, I'm going to be honest, there were times I was laughing so hard. I was loving it. I mean, oh. He took a hot dog from a guy and threw it back at him. He took a soda and spilled it in his face. Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh my god, I can't stop laughing. It was so funny. But I mean, oh, he gave us some new words again tonight, folks. I mean, yes, he threw out some fickles and all that, but he also gave us weak. He also gave us impotent. Change it. Oh my word. I mean, is there anybody hotter? I mean, him and the man are the two hottest commodities on SmackDown Live today. And that promo right there was one of the many reasons why he continues to impress. And, yes, there is still that very small part of me that is still hurting, from the heel turn, because you know how much I love the yes movement and all that. But man alive, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That was absolutely phenomenal. The match, well, yeah, no. That was a 1-star effort at best. I mean, you had a feeling. You had a feeling that Bryan was going to go over, and that's exactly what happened. And Truth, not exactly, not exactly run the Truth killings as he was in TNA when he was a former 2-time NWA heavyweight champion. But D. Bryan, man, I mean, the best part was when Bryan called a fan impotent and the fan yelled back, "I am not. I am not." Woo! And all I can say is, I mean, this to me was my second favorite Daniel Bryan segment since the heel turn. I mean, I also like the one that went down on Christmas with when he got in the face of R-Truth and Carmella when they were dressed in their Christmas attire. The best one ever was last month. The one when he was on Miz TV. That one was epic. Nothing's going to top that. This almost did. But still, it was another one of my favorite Daniel Bryan segments. Everything about his awesome new character wrapped up in 5 to 10 minutes. That, to me, if I'm going to be quite honest, that was the segment of the night, because this was a wrestling-heavy show, just like Raw was last night. As far as the match goes, yeah, it is good to see R-Truth out there, even if it isn't a shorter bout. That said, it felt like filler, if I'm going to be honest. And even AJ's beatdown wasn't particularly interesting. The first segment of the show with Bryan's promo was the best part of all this. So if you're pressed for time, this is skippable. Except for Daniel Bryan's promo. That's all I can say on that. The match was 1 star at best. So there's really nothing more for me to say on this. So D.D. Woodson, come on in. And let's give MF a little more rest, because he's been at this for over an hour now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good heel promo. I think what would have nailed this more in the coffin is what I've been kind of harping on from all the times they've reshown the vignette of the new superstars that are coming up from NXT. Get them against EC3, because there you have the yin yang that would be fighting each other. The polar opposites, and that's what you need to really cement this. R-Truth. It's great to see him out there. It's great to see the fact that he is being showcased and not thrown in every so often as your comic relief. He's actually out here doing something now. And then you have AJ who's coming out, but I still think we need to get these new guys up and get them up fast, because I'm sure everybody wants to see a fresh match, and what would be fresher than Daniel Bryan versus EC3? It is a 1-star match. Not going to harp much on the match. Promo was very much a heel promo, very much throwing out his new little heel words and everything. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletcher, you ready?
I'm ready to go, guys. And the next thing that we had was Andrade Cien Almas and Samoa Joe going up against Rey Mysterio. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. What happened here? Okay, goes up against Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali. When it was all said and done, Andrade Cien Almas and Samoa Joe gets the victory, as it was the Hammerlock DDT by Andrade Cien Almas on Rey Mysterio. Yo, there's really nothing more to say, but D.D. Woodson, tranquilo.
That was a very, very good match. I mean, wow. I mean, you got, the best of Mexico and Samoan, all wrapped up in one here. These guys, I mean, they took it to the limits. They worked very well. Not, the teams worked well together, but they worked well as a unit, fighting each other as well. I mean, I'm going to give this a 4 stars for the match. I mean, it was very well done and very, uplifting after having that sleeper match that we just had to start off the show. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
Unbelievable. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, SmackDown Live really knocked it out of the park tonight, and I'm not at all surprised. I mean, you had that epic promo from Daniel Bryan, and then this. I mean, awesome match and huge momentum boost for Andrade Cien Almas. Watch this, and watch that Canadian Destroyer from Rey Mysterio. Yes, Rey Mysterio. I kid you not. He did a Canadian Destroyer on Andrade Cien Almas that made Corey Graves and Tom Phillips lose their minds. I think there was a little bit of Saxton in there, but you could clearly hear Graves and Phillips losing their minds, especially Corey Graves. I mean, he lost his mind and unbelievable. So, I mean, the athleticism in this match, I mean, it reminded me a lot of that 6-man match we saw on Raw last night. But nonetheless, I mean, this was absolutely amazing. Didi nails the rating once again. This was a solid 4 stars. I mean, a few more minutes, we would have been talking even higher, but 4, maybe even 4.25 is the best I can go on this one, because this was a tag team wrestling match at its absolute finest. Yes, it was 2 randomly thrown together teams, but so what? I mean, the action was there. The near falls were great. The crowd was red hot for it. So, unreal. So, nothing more to say on that. Solid 4 stars. So, MF, are we going to get any thoughts from you on this, or?
I mean, look, what can you expect on SmackDown Live? I mean, great action, great quality that you guys have been saying, and I would not have been stunned if this didn't deliver as it did, and I'm so glad that it did. Mustafa Ali being on SmackDown Live has been a godsend, man. What can I say? And then to pair him up with Rey Mysterio, one of the greats in the game. Samoa Joe, we already know his body of work. And Andrade Cien Almas is getting better and better by the week. Yes, I know he has not been very happy with his placement in the company, or with his standing in WWE. But let me tell you, man, if he continues to do these kind of matches, to continue to raise the bar like he is, trust me, WWE will reward you. They will notice that. And especially now with this new regime, or this new look for WWE, that that the fans are gonna start saying, hey, I want to see Cien Almas get opportunities, and you gotta push this guy. The fans are gonna get on him about this, and I'm gonna tell you, if WWE is smart, you start pushing Andrade Cien Almas right now. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the attitude. Yes, you got the perfect mic piece with the sexy Selena Vega. If you do that, my God, this guy is a bona fide superstar in the making. You made him the NXT champion. He was lights out on that. This guy deserves an opportunity. And no shame to Rey Mysterio for taking the fall on this one. Rey is a legend in the game, and you don't want to hurt Mustafa Ali and let him be the one to take the fall, because Mustafa's got a lot of momentum right now on his plate, because of the fact that, number one, he got that big victory over Daniel Bryan, and there's a little bit of a rivalry between him and Bryan. Even though AJ Styles is getting the shot at the Royal Rumble, Mustafa Ali is right now in the WWE title picture. He's not going anywhere, guys. Maybe they put him in next month, if there is an Elimination Chamber event, or maybe in Fastlane, wherever it goes, to lead to WrestleMania. Or maybe there could be a chance, and this is obviously a small chance, but maybe Mustafa Ali and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? I know that's a little far-fetched, but is it possible? We'll wait and see. Anything's possible in WWE nowadays, and especially if they're going to want to keep the momentum with All Elite Wrestling now picking up steam, we're just going to have to wait and see. So we'll go from that. All right. We had a lot of segments after this. We had a Shane McMahon and Miz segment. We had basically Rusev and Nakamura. Of course, Becky Lynch talking about her opportunity. All right, we're going to skip all that, and we're going to get into the next fight of the night, which was the Usos versus the Bar. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, in 14 minutes and 18 seconds, they don't set the Bar. They are the Bar. The Bar wins it. Well, the reason why, oh my goodness, Mandy Rose All right. We got to talk about this quick. Mandy Rose is definitely causing a lot of problems for the Usos and Naomi, most notably. Back on Christmas, Mandy Rose tried to make the move on I think it was it Jay or is it Jimmy who's married to Naomi? It's
Jimmy
It's
Uso.
Jimmy Uso. All right. So Mandy tried to get Jimmy to kiss under the mistletoe, and Naomi wasn't having any of that. Get out of here, you heathen. That's my man. Don't you ever think about pulling that on him again. All right, fine, fair enough. 1 week later, on SmackDown Live, which is the New Year's episode, Mandy Rose comes out, reveals the Uso Day 1 shirt, which gets Naomi a little bothered, gets a little ticked off. Then she says she has one more thing that she sent, and she sent this to her husband. It was her in a towel, very provocative pose. Naomi almost wanted to flip and blow a gasket, lost the match to Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville and Naomi was in a one-on-one, picks the bones, wins the match, done. All right. Now, this time around. So, right at the point that Jay was going to make a hot tag to Jimmy, Mandy Rose's music hits. She asked Jimmy that she had left her yellow dress, her yellow gold outfit at his hotel room. Jimmy's like, what the hell? Next thing you know, he gets knocked off the apron. Jay gets caught in a neutralizer. 1, 2, 3, done. The Usos loses. The Bar wins. More importantly, oh man, are you kidding me? So, youch is all I'm just saying. Anthony Florio, whoa Nelly. We got a little bit of the Attitude Era coming back with this storyline. There's been no PG whatsoever on this. And now I know you're a man of good faith, but brother, I mean, back in the day, this would have been MF Hitman. I would love to hear you now with this. I mean, they've been pushing the envelope. Where do you stand on this? Oh my God.
Well, if we're going to go there, well, I'm going to have to channel my inner Booker T on this one, MF. Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. That's all there is to say on that. I mean, that's what Booker would have done. No doubt about that. But yes, indeed, MF, you're absolutely right. This would have been vintage MF, and all that. You're absolutely right. I mean, Corey Graves is not the only one who gushes over that one, no doubt. But back to the business at hand, the Usos in the Bar. As much as I love the beautiful blonde from New York, Mandy Rose, I mean, she caused the she pretty much determined the outcome of the match, and interference, and we frown upon that here. And if it wasn't for that, I would have given this 4 stars as well. But because of that little ruse there, I'm gonna have to knock it down a peg and give it about 3.5. But it was still another entertaining Uso Bar match. I mean, these two never disappoint. I mean, that's all I can say on that. I mean, they just give every time they get together. I mean, they are just you know, they just continue to get better and better. And oh my goodness, I mean, Mandy Rose had to do it, huh? But that was another awesome match between the Bar and the Usos. And yes, I highly recommend watching this one. If it wasn't for Mandy Rose's distraction, this would have been another 4, maybe 4.25 star bout. But because of that, I got to knock it down. I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. But it was still another top fight of the night. I can't give it fight of the night honors, honestly. I could probably give it third best fight of the night honors. But it was still a damn good match. 3.5 stars. But wait, there's more on this. The Miz showed up, and you know, he got in the Bar's face and he said, "Hey, gentlemen, you just got by the Usos. You've beaten every tag team there is to beat on Raw and SmackDown Live, but there's one team you have not beat, the best tag team in the world, me and Shane McMahon. And we are challenging you for a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match at the Royal Rumble." A bro kick by Sheamus, and Cesaro says, "We accept." So it's on. It will be the Bar defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against The Miz and Shane McMahon. And I'm going to go on the record right here and right now. I think The Miz and Shane O'Mac are going to win the belts. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. Dee Whitson, what do you think of all that?
It's a good possibility that they would win the titles with that coming up. This was a very well done match. Very, very good. Of course, Usos can bring out the best in just about everybody. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Mandy Rose and her distraction, you know, I think the Usos would have come out on top on this one. And then we don't want to forget the little backstage segment after all this was over, where Naomi actually goes after these two, and of course the Usos come back to break it up, and they're acting like, you know, they don't know why she's they're attacking each other. I thought that was kind of lame, but I mean, she's defending her husband and her family, and he doesn't even realize that his wife's doing that. I mean, come on, give me a break. I too am going to penalize it. I'm going to give it 3 3/4, so I'm going to go up at least the quarter from Anthony, but still, I don't like the fact that she came out, and then of course she had the outfit she was talking about under the robe, which is what we saw in the backstage segment. I mean, or the towel. I mean, it was very distasteful, very, just not really any place for that kind of stuff. And besides, didn't we just have this not long ago with Aiden English, with Rusev and Lana? Now we're recycling storylines. Give me a break. I mean,
but I actually had to say this was actually going more further than what Lana and Aiden English said, because the thing is that if you really think about it, on the initial, like, they never really pushed that envelope. It was kind of more Aiden was trying to kiss Lana, or try to do something, and then Lana resisted. It was more Aiden English saying stuff that that caused the trouble. This is actually more physical. This is actual video or photos, or they're pushing the envelope a little more this time around than they did with Aiden English and Lana. I think they're actually going more further than they did with that storyline, Dee.
They might be going a little further, but still, that's the same concept. Is the point I'm trying to get to? Is we're going
true
in the same direction, and it's basically the same storyline. I mean, you can go back even further. You have Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita.
Yeah.
Same storyline. We're coming back around full circle, and we're recycling storylines. Yeah, they may be changed up a little bit to where, you know, English was saying, well, she came to my hotel room and she came all over me, and then you see the real video and that's not what really happened. And then you come to this one and, you know, she's trying to put this wedge between the married couple by saying, you know, he came to my hotel room or I came to his hotel room and I left my clothing there and I've sent him photos of me in the shower and all this kind of stuff just to get under Naomi's skin. And, you know, but still the same concept, just the storyline has moved to the more modern era of your cell phones and your videos and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's still the same concept. It's just, you know, I don't really quite agree with, you know, Vince's idea that we need to bring real life or even stage this stuff into this. You know, this is not. I know they're calling it entertainment, but this is wrestling. You know, there's not really shouldn't be any place for your soap opera drama in this, and this would be more of a soap opera thing that you watch on Young and the Restless Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree. And I know there's been a few people, not just you, Dee Dee Woodson, that's been harping about this lately. In the forefront, and a lot of people have actually gone down and said that, yeah, this is not, you know, why are you doing this kind of storyline? You know, Mandy Rose, why, you know, you're basically creating her like a home wrecker. Is that something you really want to do? And there are a lot of groups, a lot of I'm not gonna say parent groups, but there's been a lot of different people, I'll say that, who's actually been going after WWE for this storyline. So no, Dee Dee Woodson, you're preaching to the choir when it comes to this. You're actually part of the majority.
Yeah,
you're in the majority right now of questioning this storyline and everything else, because you're not the first voice I've heard. I've been reading a lot of articles from dirt sheets and everything else lately, going after WWE for this storyline as well. So you're not the only one.
I'll even take this one step further. This storyline alone is actually taking the women's revolution 3 steps back. You're trying to build these women up to be equal with the men, but you're throwing in a young lady, which, yeah, she's a gorgeous young lady, but you're putting her in to this slut type situation. And, you know, I don't quite agree with doing that, but this is another thing where you're recycling storylines. This is, you know, if you really look at that photo from last week, if you search the web, you'll find a photo of Trish Stratus almost in that same pose wearing a towel. Does that make...
No, that makes perfect sense. And
I mean, you're actually taking the women one step back. You're going back to the Attitude Era, where that's all the ladies were the sex objects. They weren't.
Yeah.
And
that is wrong. No, you're right, and you're absolutely right. From the base of Evolution to everything that you're doing, you just announced the women's tag team division, so we know it's happening. And yeah, I don't know what WWE is doing right now, especially on SmackDown Live. If this is an isolated incident, then maybe all right, we'll give you the pass. But even that it shines a bad light. It more shines a bad light on Naomi and on Mandy Rose, especially. Mandy's taken I hate to say this, but she is taking quite she's getting a lot of negative heat from the fans because of the storyline.
Almost as much as Alexa got when she did her little thing on Bailey.
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad, but it's getting there.
It's getting there. No, you're absolutely right. It's getting there.
If they keep pushing this, it's going to get to that point and maybe even surpass it. And like I said, the more they push this,
the worse it's going to get.
The further back, at least on SmackDown, that evolution is going.
Yeah.
And that's not the direction that they originally were going to push these ladies. And here, that's exactly what they're doing. I don't know exactly who's writing this storyline, but if it's Vince, then he needs to take 3 steps back himself and let the kids take over with this and get this crap out. I mean, save the soap operas for daytime and let's move along with what the more important focus is on the show. And it's certainly not trying to steal somebody else's husband or trying to put a wedge through them just so you can make a bigger name for yourself. So I'm off my high horse. I give it back to you. I'm sorry. I had to go. I had to do it though. I had to low. I'm sorry.
It's fair. No, fair enough, and that's why I gave you all the avenues that you needed. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna give you any grief or any trouble or anything like that. You were preaching to the choir there. So no, absolutely. We know. I kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen because with everything that happened, especially, I wanted your point of view because I knew this was going to make it uncomfortable, the whole 9 yards, because I know you really well, Dee Dee. So that's why I was wondering. I was like, man, I wonder what she's thinking about all this right now. And especially Anthony, because, with him being the man of good fate now, being, reformed and changed and everything else, I was like, that's why I really wanted it to get your 2 points about this storyline, because we haven't chatted in almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks now.
Yep.
So I mean, this is why I really was definitely on the fence about the whole thing. So thank you for giving me your thoughts. Thank you for giving me your point of view.
17 years.
Absolutely.
17 years, and we're getting to the point to where I think the fans are knowing that we know each other backwards and forwards.
Yeah. So no, greatly appreciated, guys. So all right, guys. So it is indeed the main event time for the evening, which was Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Carmella, the triple threat. We've been talking it all night. The winner of the bout and getting the #1 contender spot and fighting Asuka at the Royal Rumble will be the man, Becky Lynch. She disarmors Carmella to end the match. And I believe this goes to Dee Dee. No. Yeah, it goes to Dee Dee Woodson. So, Dee Dee, give me your thoughts on the main event. Becky Lynch, the former champion, gets another shot to try to regain the gold.
Oh, yeah. This was definitely a well-done match. But I am going to go back to that one backstage segment real quick because it pertains to the Daniel Bryan thing at the very beginning. Did you all see how red his face got? Lord, he's going to have to calm down or he's going to have a heart attack out there doing those promos. He's going to have to calm down just a tad bit.
I think he forgot to do his Zen thing earlier in the evening.
Yeah, he forgot something because, Lord, I can understand they're wanting him to be this mega heel. They're wanting him to be angry and everything. But when the face gets that red doing it, that's a danger zone that they're really going to have to watch because we've already seen, announcers out there like Jerry having heart attacks and stuff because of stress and different things they do. And, I know he's on this natural kick and everything, but they need to watch that because that could be a sign that something else is wrong there. But getting back to the match, Very well done. Very much these ladies work very well off of each other. And I'm actually going to say something nice about Carmella for a change. I'm not going to harp down on her. She has improved in the ring. I think her working with R-Truth has helped her actually get better at her craft. I really appreciated the fact she didn't scream as much. Let's leave that in the past to Melina. She did very well in this match. We saw, definitely saw the little devil horns pop out on Charlotte. Her even hollering at the crowd during the match, telling them to sit down, shut up, and stuff like that. Very well done, and I love the stare down at the end with Asuka and Becky Lynch as they were going off the air. Very well done. Best way to end SmackDown, because this was a very well done show tonight. Yeah, we had a few low points, but this is still a very well done show. I'm actually going to shoot 4.5 to 4 3/4. Very well done. Very good main event. And, hats off. These three ladies knocked it out of the park. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. I guess I toss it over to Florio.
Yep. Anthony, it's all yours, bro.
Unreal. What a main event. You could make an argument that this was even better than the triple threat they had at SummerSlam last year. I mean, we know how great that one was. This one, I think, might have been just as better, just as much better. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, what a way to close out SmackDown Live this evening. And, as solid as Raw was last night, SmackDown Live absolutely blew it out of the box here this evening. I mean, there was nothing really much on the show that was really, well, except for that Daniel Bryan R-Truth match. But, everything else was just wow. I mean, and you also have to give credit to the production team again, because, all three ladies cut pre-match promos. And it emphasized the importance of the bout. I mean, that's another thing they did that was really well done. And you got to give them credit for. Just amazing. And all I can say right now is it was an awesome match. The SmackDown Women's Division is elite. And then from there, this is awesome chants from the crowd. And I think slowly but surely, I think Carmella is working her way out of Edie Whitson's doghouse, because you remember last year, for a great majority of last year, Carmella was very much in Edie Whitson's doghouse, along with Alexa Bliss. And I think the Princess of Staten Island has finally, is starting to slowly but surely win Edie over, and I'm glad for that. Because I've been high on her, ever since the Money in the Bank and everything.
Bliss is still in the doghouse.
What's that, Edie?
Bliss is still in the doghouse.
I know Alexa's still in the doghouse. I'm talking about Carmella. I think she's working her way out.
Well, like I said, tonight she actually impressed me, because her wrestling skills have gotten better, and I think a lot of that was the teaming with R-Truth and them actually changing her character up a little bit using R-Truth, because she wasn't that much of a asshole, I guess you could say, as she had been in the past. So
the face turn. They turned her face prior to season 2 of the Mixed Match Challenge, and of course it was her and R-Truth that won the whole thing, and Carmella will be number 30 in the Women's Royal Rumble match, whereas R-Truth will be number 30 in the men's match. But nonetheless, Mella had no choice but to tap out to one of WWE's most devastating submissions. And after the match concluded, Asuka enters the ring to stare down Becky. The two scream at each other as Asuka holds the title in between them. And if that isn't the best way to end this episode of SmackDown Live, I don't know what would be, other than the new Daniel Bryan going bonkers and all that. But other than that, yeah, I agree with Dee Dee's rating. This was the fight of the night. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. An amazing main event. This was even better than the SummerSlam match. Yes, the SummerSlam match was great, but this was even better. And I knew these three were going to steal the damn show, and I'm not at all surprised that they did. So, like I said, awesome match. SmackDown Women's Division is elite. And what else is there to say? Asuka, Becky Lynch, Chase Field, 40 to 50,000 plus on hand. Whoa. Oh, Nelly. That's all I can say on that. And they reported that this match was made official, but then it was retracted, and then we ended up getting this match, and we still got the match anyway. So, but it doesn't matter how we got there. The point is we're getting it. What have the McMahon's been promising us? Fresh matches. And this is as fresh as it gets. Asuka's already fought Charlotte. She's already fought Carmella. She's never fought Becky in a one-on-one match that I know of. That is until the Royal Rumble. So MF, as I give it back to you, I'm gonna close out with two classic gorilla cliches here. The SRO signs, they're gonna be out early if they're not out already. And Asuka and Becky for the women's title at the Royal Rumble. What a match that's gonna be.
It's going to be a great match. One of the most highly anticipated title fights we're going to have at the Royal Rumble, no doubt about it. It's going to be something. You got AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, Asuka versus Becky now. I mean, at least on the SmackDown side, it's shaping up really nicely for the Blue brand for the Royal Rumble event, to say the very least. So, time for the overall review. Anthony Foyo, give me your thoughts.
I gotta say maybe based on body of work and everything else, I gotta give this between 8.5 to 9. This was a damn good SmackDown Live this evening. I mean, yes, we didn't really address the situation with Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, but that was solid for what it was. And there was really only one bad match on the show, and it was the new Daniel Bryan against R-Truth. I mean, other than that, Becky, Charlotte, and Carmella, they stole the damn show. I'm not at all surprised they did. Even with an even better triple threat match than the one they had at SummerSlam last summer. The Usos in the Bar was on its way to being an instant classic. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I forgot to mention this. I saw the Mandy Rose interference coming from a mile away. I really did. When they were going for that hot tag stretch there. And then, of course, what can you say about that tag team match with Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali going up against Samoa Joe and Andrade Cien Almas? That was an instant classic. Bryan's opening promo in the concession stands and going crazy. And then he did another fantastic promo with Caleb Braxton before the main event as he was leaving the building. Oh, unbelievable. I mean, that's really all I can say on that. So screw the 8.5. I'm giving this a solid 9 out of 10. If it wasn't for that one bad match and a couple other things here and there, this would have been a perfect 10. So SmackDown beats Raw once again. I'm not at all surprised. So MF, I mean, you guys are on a roll. What else is there to say? So whatever you guys are doing, keep it up. Keep the fickle, mindless sheep riders away. I'm hopeful that we can get them off Raw once in a while. But, Raw had a solid show last night. I said that was a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. But this SmackDown Live, 9 out of 10. damn good. What a great way. I mean, this is the second show. That's right. We had New Year's last week, so easily better than last week. I mean, even though last week was great too. So, and yes, MF, you're absolutely right. I mean, look at the card. I mean, not just SmackDown, but overall. I mean, the Rumble right now, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, you look at the Royal Rumble, not just from the SmackDown side, but from Raw, and we can't forget about 205 Live either. 205 Live, they're gonna have a big fatal 4-way for the Cruiserweight Championship, and that's gonna be amazing. You know that. So, I mean, look at this. You got the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble. From the SmackDown side, you got Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. You got Asuka and Becky for the women's title. Cesaro and Sheamus against The Miz and Shane O'Mac. Well, I'm a little iffy on that one, but and then you look at the Raw side. You got Brock Lesnar against Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. Hopefully that'll be a man fight we've been waiting for from those two. And then you got Ronda Rousey against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. That's as fresh as it gets right there. And then throw in Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, and Hideo Itami in a 4-way for the Cruiserweight Championship. Another fresh matchup. And then the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. Let me tell you, if they book this card correctly, Royal Rumble 2019, the 32nd annual Royal Rumble, this thing gets booked correctly, this could go down as perhaps maybe the greatest Royal Rumble event of all time. Don't screw it up. You got a damn good card. Book it correctly. You do, off we go. 9 out of 10, Didi Woodson. How do you follow that?
I don't follow it. I agree with it. Definitely a 9 out of 10. They knocked it out of the park all the way around. Not just in ring, not just with matches, but even with the backstage stuff. I mean, there's just not, the only real negative on the show, like you said, was that one match with Daniel and Truth, and and we all know, even though didn't quite agree with the stuff going on the tag match, it was still very well done match. I mean, they just knocked it out of the park all the way around. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Just I agree. SmackDown, keep it up, because they definitely have something going that Raw is desperately still seeking. So not much more I have to say about it. I toss it to you, Fletch.
And with that, the long show is over. I want to thank everybody for your patience, and I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful event. Anthony Flayo, come on in. Why don't you? Did Derek post the card for Strictly Sports yet, or no?
Yeah, yes, he has.
All right, then do it. It's yours.
All right, so yes, indeed, and before I do that, let me just say, yes, SmackDown Live is running the show right now, but I believe in my heart of hearts that at some point Raw is going to have their day, and trust me, we're going to have our day soon enough. But all kidding aside, let's get into the docket for the season premiere of Strictly Sports. My God, so time just flies so fast nowadays. Let me tell you. But here we go. The theme of the show, MF, is pretty much going to be coaching. That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be all about coaching, pretty much. A good majority of the show. We're going to start with the NFL coaching carousel, the hirings and the firings. A story that UMF, you broke out. You reported on this some time ago. Manny Diaz, the new head football coach of the Miami Hurricanes, the U, We're going to talk about that. UCLA men's basketball. They have a vacancy. Steve Alford out. Murray Bartow is in. And I have something interesting I'm going to share regarding that. Some potential new hires that could come in to replace Bartow, unless he does well, of course. And then a big triple main event. We'll recap the college football playoff national championship game. Clemson. What was that last night? Are you kidding me? They did what? Wow. That's all I can say on that. Clemson defeating Alabama. And then the big main event, our preview of the NFL divisional playoffs. The Indianapolis Colts against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Dallas Cowboys against the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Chargers against the New England Patriots. And what's going to be a snowball. I'm already excited for that one. And then the Philadelphia Eagles against the New Orleans Saints. And then we'll close it out with our first NHL Power Rankings of the season. So that's Friday night, 10:30, right on the Tone 25, here on YouTube.com. MF, I hope you can make it. And that's all I can say on that. So we'll see you Friday night, season premiere of Strictly Sports. Can't wait to bring it all to you. It's going to be great.
All right, guys, and that is it. So for Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for this show, guys. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now, and we will see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.